Okay, so today is our trigonometry starting point. Okay, so the first thing we're going to read here is something called SOHCAHTOA. This is something that we use all the time when we're doing our trig functions. You're going to learn today what all this stands for. All right, so a trig ratio is a ratio of length of two sides in a right triangle. We're going to do this in different ways. So the first thing we're going to talk about is tangent. Okay, tan is an abbreviation for it. Okay, that's called tangent. You will see this on your calculator as written as TAN. So the tangent part of it is abbreviated by the TOA, TOA. What it stands for is tangent, opposite, adjacent. So that's why I put a little arrow here. So tangent stands for opposite over adjacent. That's kind of what this is explaining right here in this little passage. So it says triangle ABC be a right triangle with an obtuse angle A. The tangent of angle A, written as tan of A, is defined as the following. The length of the legs opposite angle A, the length of the leg opposite of angle A. So it would be BC over AC. We're going to try an example to help us understand this. So it says find the tan of S and the tan of R. Write each answer as a fraction and as the decimal rounded to 4 decimal places. So let's start off with just the tan of S. So tangent of S equals. So you go to angle S. Okay, it stands for tangent, stands for opposite over adjacent. Okay, what that means, it's the opposite side. So that means across, or the adjacent side, which means right next to it. Okay, it cannot be your hypotenuse right next to. Very, very important and something that we make a lot of mistakes of. So tangent of S, opposite of S is 80 over my adjacent side. My adjacent is going to be 18. Can't be my hypotenuse, so it's going to be 18. Now, we simplify this fraction as much as we can, so I can divide both of them by 2, so I get 40 over 9. Now, it also asks us to do this round to 4 decimal places. Put this in your calculator. 40 divided by 9 is approximately 4.4444. That's 4 decimal places. This is my answer we would put. Now we have to find tan of R. Same exact concept, except for now we're going to look from angle R. Angle R, opposite is 18 over my adjacent, right next to, is 80. Simplify my fraction, dividing it by 2, so it's 9 over 40, which is approximately, when you put that in your calculator, 9 divided by 40 is 0.2250. And that's your final answer. You guys are going to do this practice on trying examples 2 and example 3. All right, so now example 4 is the concepts of stuff that we're going to start getting into about finding trig lengths. Very, very important. You're going to need to use your calculator for this, and you're going to need your calculator to be in degrees, okay? Has to be in degrees. Now, most of our calculators will say it. It'll say DEG someplace on your calculator in the bottom right. It shows it on mine, but it depends on what calculator you are using. If you are having a hard time and you do not get the matching answer when you plug this question into your calculator, you need to come and ask for help so I can help you fix your calculator. So, find the value of x. All right, so we're looking at this angle measure right here, okay? So we have an opposite and adjacent. So we're going to use our tangent. So it's tangent of 32 degrees equals, we know it's opposite over adjacent. So its opposite is 11 over my adjacent, which is x. We're going to solve this problem. We're solving for x. We need to get x by itself. Okay, only way to start doing this is cross multiply. Goes over 1, and we cross multiply here. Okay, so we get x tan of 32 equals 1 times 11 is 11. Tan of 32 is a number, just so we're all on the same page here. Okay, this you can plug into your calculator and get a number, which we're going to do. Get x by itself, so we're going to divide by tan of 32. We do that to both sides. This is where we're going to need our calculator. X equals 11, you're going to plug into your calculator. Divided by, use parentheses, tan of 32. You're going to press equals. Okay, the answer is approximately 17.6. If you do not get 17.6, you need to come ask me for help so I can get your calculator fixed. Every calculator is different, so it's hard for me to pinpoint exactly what you're supposed to do on your calculator without knowing what calculator you are using. Please make sure you can get this. All right, example 5. Find the height h of the lamppost to the nearest inch. Okay, my lamppost. We have a 70-degree angle. We have 40 inches down here, and we have an h. Okay, so 70, opposite, adjacent. So we're going to use tangent of 70 degrees equals. My opposite is h over my adjacent is 40. We're going to do the same exact process of solving it as we did right up here. Okay, cross multiply. Multiply this, multiply that. Okay, we get h to equal 40 times tan of 70. Very important. Okay, put 40 in your calculator, multiply it by tan of 70. When you get an answer, it should be h equals 109.9. Okay, but it asks us to round to the nearest inch, so my height is going to be 110 inches. So my lamppost is 110 inches. All right, we're going to move on. You guys are going to do example 6. It's using special right triangles, which we learned in our lesson the other day. Okay, now we're going to move on and learn our other 2 parts of this. Okay, there's sine and there's cosine. All right, so we abbreviate it SIN, and cosine we abbreviate COS. This is the other part of our SOHCAHTOA. So part of it, SOH, stands for opposite hypotenuse. Opposite over hypotenuse. The cosine is abbreviated as adjacent over hypotenuse, AH. Okay, and that's what this is kind of explained here. Example 7 is just like we did example 1. You're going to just write out your fractions and do your decimal to 4 decimal places. So, sine of S. Sine is opposite over your hypotenuse. So, S is here. Opposite is 63 over my hypotenuse, which is always across from your right angle, is 65. You got to see if you can simplify this, which you can't, so you just plug it into your calculator and get your decimal. 63 divided by 65 is approximately 0.9692. Answer. It also asks you to do sine of R. So let's look at angle R. My opposite is what's across is 16 over hypotenuse is 65. 16 over 65, you cannot simplify. Put in your calculator. is approximately 0.2462. That's our final answer. Okay, example 8 is exactly the same. Okay, you're finding sine of x and sine of y for both of these pictures. Let's look at example 9. Okay, example 9 is using cosine now. Okay, cosine is adjacent over your hypotenuse. So, cosine of u adjacent is what is next to, so it's 18 over my hypotenuse is 30. You can simplify this, okay? 6 goes into both, so 18 divided by 6 is 3. 30 divided by 6 is 5, so it's 3 over 5, which when we round this to 4 decimal places is 0.6. That's it. So it's 0, 0, 0 when you write it out to 4 decimal places. Cosine of W, adjacent is what's right next to 24 over my hypotenuse, which is 30. So 24 over 30, you can simplify. 6 goes into both again. So you can have it would be 4 over 5, which is approximately, it is 0.8. And write it with 4 decimals. So it's 0.8000. Example 10 is the same exact concept. I want to look at example 11 since you have to calculate lengths here. Okay, example 11, it says you want to string a cable to make a dog run from 2 corners of a building as shown in the diagram. Write and solve a proportion using trig ratios to approximate the length of a cable you will need. All right, I know the numbers are kind of hard to see in the picture. This is 11 feet, this is an x, this is a 35. Okay, so we need to utilize our angle here. So it's going to say one of our trig functions, sine, cosine, or tangent of 35 will equal blank over blank. We're not sure yet what. All right, so this is our SOHCAHTOA. This is something I like to write every single time I'm doing a trig function. It's something we should memorize. So you know once you figure out what you have. So from my angle, I have that this is a hypotenuse. So that takes tangent out of the picture because it doesn't have hypotenuse anywhere in it. Okay, then from 35, I have an 11, which is across from it, okay, which is opposite. So I have opposite and I have a hypotenuse. Okay, you have to figure out which one of these is opposite and hypotenuse. Well, opposite, hypotenuse. So this is out. So I'm going to be using sine. This is a process of elimination of figuring out which one to use. So we're going to use sine of 35 degrees will equal my opposite, 11, over my hypotenuse, which is x. And we're going to solve this like we did before with our tangent problems. Cross multiply. This is over 1, and we multiply across. X times sine of 35 will equal 11. We have to get x by itself, so divide by sine of 35 to both sides. We get x equals 11 divided by sine of 35. You're going to plug that into your calculator. 11 divided by parentheses sine 35. You will get x equaling 19.2 feet. If you do not get 19.2 feet, please come and talk to me about this. Send me a message, come on to group me, anything that will help us get you to understand how to get this answer properly. All right, and that's our lesson for today. Have a good day.